So one of the students asked, how many languages do you speak and which ones?
Yeah, sure. For my accent, you know. That.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Frank Antonawich. I'm a professor of biology at St. Joseph's College in New York. And it's my distinct pleasure today to introduce Dr. Tetyana Delaney. She's my colleague, a friend, and an immunologist. And she's currently at the Mars training mission in Moscow. And hello, Tanya, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Nice to be here.
So Dr. Delaney, just to let everyone know, is one of only 2 women selected by NASA from the entire United States to represent us at this international program entitled SIRIUS 21. So today what I'm going to do is we solicited questions from our biology club students, our astronomy club students, and our faculty at St. Joseph's College. But before I get to the questions, in case someone might not know, Tanya, if you could briefly explain to us what the SIRIUS 21 program is about. What does it stand for?
Of course. So SIRIUS stands for Scientific International Research in the Unique Terrestrial Station. So obviously it is focusing to prepare all of us to finally fly to the Mars and do different other interplanetary space missions. So we actually orbiting around the Earth for so long. Now we're trying to extend our explorations first to settle the colony on the moon, and then actually from the moon travel to Mars. But in order to do all of it, we need to study as much as possible on Earth, and most importantly, how our body reacts and responds to different environment, right? So isolation studies were done before. It was SIRIUS 17 that we have 17 days, then it was SIRIUS 19 that lasted for 4 months, and finally SIRIUS 21 will be conducted for 8 months. And next one is already planned for 1 year. We don't know when it is, but they already made a call and they're collecting people for that mission. So if anyone interested, it will be 1 year.
Wow, wonderful. Just a follow up to that then, is this isolation based on them traveling to Mars, or not only traveling, but also when they colonize and live there, that you're going to have to be in these conditions?
Well, traveling to Mars takes 8 months, right? So at the beginning, we will not be staying there. We will be learning how to deal with environment and probably deliver equipment, probably build things. So the staying will be short on the surface of the Mars, as I think, but definitely travel time back and forth it will take toll on the body. So we need to know, and we need to develop the program to rehabilitate, or what to do during the flight to counteract, say, bone loss. The actual osteoporosis can develop in mice. If mice is immobile, back legs, in 3 weeks, they develop osteoporosis.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. And even if you just in isolation, we're not talking about gravity, that already shown signs that it may take toll on the bones, on definitely muscle development, but on the bones too.
Interesting. So for my audience, the questions, as I mentioned, were solicited from our students in the astronomy club, the biology club, and faculty. So I'm going to ask these. Some of them are more fun, personal questions. Other ones directly related to the mission and stuff you're doing. So I'll ask them to, the questions to you, and we'll go from there. So the first question I have is, what motivated you or inspired you to do this training mission?
Yes, many people ask me that. I always was fascinated with the space, and I followed and tried to follow the research that has been done, and was looking in some program, but obviously related to my field. And when the announcement or call crossed my path, I realized I fit all the criteria. So I decided to apply and see where it will take me. And here I am.
Good, excellent. So you brought up the program to apply. What was the selection process for the program?
It took quite a bit, took more than a year. And I think COVID was a contributor as well. But of course, first was resume. Second was interviews with the key managers of the program. Then extensive medical and physical tasks and tests, different tests. And finally, I was invited to the Johnson Space Center for cognitive and psychological testing. And after all of it, they let me take a language exam. So, yeah, quite a bit.
Okay. So I mentioned in the beginning that, not only you're my colleague here at the biology department at St. Joseph's, but you're an immunologist. So one of the questions from our students were, how does your immunology research relate to the NASA training program?
Good question. So since the first, let's say, human flight, right, it was obvious we need to learn more about what happens to our body, all our systems. And here in Institute of Biomedical Problems in Moscow, they start researching that since 1968. It didn't start in much later in America. So they were pioneers in this field. So right now we have about 70 different projects, and quite few of them related to analyzing immunological markers. So of course in blood, in different mucosal layers. However, the most interesting project that I actually connected with the PI is from Tübingen University, where they will study epigenetical immunological markers. So that is a new, and I think there they can see more on epigenetical level, because in order to see drastic changes, maybe you will not, but definitely epigenetical changes. So that's what I hope we will establish some collaboration, or at least she promised to discuss with me certain things.
Okay. Thank you. The next question from someone was, what is a typical day like, and what does your training consist of during the day?
Oh, the hard question, because there is no typical day.
Oh, okay.
No, at the beginning, it was a little bit more relaxed than later on. So we did like team building, psychological exercises. Then, of course, we had lots of lectures. All PI introduced us to the research. And then everyone had their own schedule, because we had to learn all technique, all instruments, all measurements, all medical, physical, and other programs that because we had to do these experiments independently in isolation, so that nobody will do it with us. So that's why everyone has separate schedule, because this individual training. Like if one is going to do blood work, another is trying to dock a spaceship, and third one going to MRI. Yeah, something like that.
Wow. So that kind of feeds right into the next question someone gave me is, what is your role? Does each individual have a specific role on the training mission?
So we have 12 crew members, and they train us all equally, because we all had to do the same practical procedures. Or if it not, then we need to help other members to do the procedures. So the training went straight for everyone. I was backup, and I am backup of our flight engineer. So I support her in other tasks, interesting tasks with some universities. Yeah.
So you're listed as the secondary then, but as a flight engineer? It would be? Okay. Where are the other people participating in the program from?
We have 12 crew members, 6 of them from Russia, 4 from America, and 2 from United Arab Emirates. And what's interesting that 5 of the members are astronauts or cosmonauts, and they didn't go to space yet, but they hope after this mission they will have better chance. Both representatives from United Arab Emirates are astronauts, and they are definitely going to space. Their program just started, and it's very exciting. And they have very ambitious plan to build Mars City in 100 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So are you the only like true classic scientist and the rest are engineers and computer like astronauts, et cetera? Are you the only classic scientist on
True.
the team?
So it's interesting that they always turn to me for the questions, especially human research project. Can you explain when we do this test? What are we doing? No, I ask PI questions always, extra.
That's good. Excellent. So, our scientists are represented up there, not just the engineers and the computer
Oh,
scientists.
no, now it's a field all STEM. You don't have to be pilot or engineer. Any STEM subject will fit. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Good to know for people going forward in the future that would be interested. Okay. The next question I had from the group is, what are some of the different mental and physical challenges that you've undergone so far?
Well, let's start with physical because it was the most unusual. To learn to run and then pass a test on mechanical treadmill. So we used to electrical treadmill, but on a space station, now it's both, but before it was mechanical treadmill. So you have to create a speed and then keep up with the speed. And it was so unusual. It was the most difficult exercise everybody, like strong runners said, it was the most difficult exercise. Yeah, but they say it keeps the muscles the most strong, that type of treadmill. Actually, electrical doesn't. And on the psychological and mental part, it's become like total annihilation of yourself. You don't belong to yourself. They tell you where to sleep, what to eat. Now we are 3 weeks in quarantine, so it's was difficult.
So I'll bring up this point then. When the capsule that the selected group, I might as well bring that up now. So part of your 12-person training crew, everyone is not going into the pod. So what people go into the pod and how many are in the pod at that point?
Yeah, so half, right? So we had 6 primary, 6 backup, and if everything goes according to the plan, they're going very soon, right?
Okay.
4th of November, literally. So yes, it's time approaching, and 6 will go and 6 will continue, back them up.
So the next question, which I find is very interesting, is what was the scariest or most challenging moment in your training? Maybe it hasn't come up yet, but
Oh, well, I want to say that when we went through the ophthalmology exams in Helmholtz Institute, and when they put electrodes in our eyes, that was unusual.
Oh, wow.
The most scariest pictures.
Yeah.
And they say that with that technique they can actually predict a disease even before it happened. I don't know, but it was not a pleasant feeling.
No. Oh goodness. So I guess this leads to the next question, which what was your favorite part or task in the training? So what did you enjoy most?
Oh my God. Yes. Guess what? They train us to dock to ISS, to dock to Lunar Gateway that will be soon there and will be orbiting the moon, and to the Ariel. And we had almost more than 10-hour training, and then we had to pass a test. And test, we had to do it with equipment, with instruments, and then when equipment doesn't work, we had to do visual and spinning. If the ISS or Lunar Gateway spins, so it was almost like an interstellar moment. And
really wild.
Of course, it was not as fast, but it was challenging and definitely exciting.
Yeah, wow, that's a really cool one. I thought you were going to say when you were picking up rocks using the Mars rover, but that's cool. Docking with the International Space Station. That's wild.
Yes, exactly. Lunar rover, it's it's the same next to the docking, but with and without, and that was really challenging. And I was glad I passed the test.
Good. Yes.
And use the same system for astronaut and cosmonaut. So they train on the same VR, the same equipment.
So you're not doing anything that any traditionally trained astronaut wouldn't be doing.
Yes.
Oh, that's wild. Wow, this is real. It really is exceptional. You're like, one of a few people in the world, right, that gets to do this.
It is wild. It is wild. I still can't believe it.
So then that leads me to the next question I have is, what is one thing you found surprising about the program that you didn't expect, that it surprised you? Wow, really, will you do that?
Well, that was a surprising, of course. First of all, I know it would be challenging. Sometimes it was so overwhelming and we didn't have a break. Like literally last month, all the months we didn't have days off. It was steady training, so we would be ready to go in isolation. And surprisingly was that everything that we do, astronauts and cosmonauts do. It's not only astronaut in NASA, but say one test was done on a bicycle, and they say, oh, this is NASA doing. And treadmill, oh, this is Roscosmos is doing. And we try everything, and they test on us everything.
Oh, so you have to do both, kind of double duty, whatever.
Each
country has their own training module. You have to do both.
So I don't have now illusion about a day in space. It starts first psychological survey, then experimental toothpaste. There's toothpaste even experimental. It cannot create foam because it's very difficult to spit it out and wash it out. And this one particular has 2 steps to keep calcium on it. So it's actually very expensive. And now it's used in space, in ISS right there.
What's one thing in particular that you learned? So just one thing that you learned that you'd like to share with us.
Well, I learned that everything is possible. If I can become analog astronauts, then you guys can colonize the moon and walk on Mars.
All right, great. Number 12. Okay, so here's one that's a difficult one, and it might take a little thought here. If you don't go into the training pod for the next 8 months, and you did mention you're the secondary person, you're the backup, will it be disappointing because you did all this training? Will it be a relief? So,
good one. Okay, so definitely it will be sad to part with all 12 crew members. I'm saying 12 because we become now a family. Yes, 6 people will go, but I knew I'm back up, right? So my mission is not over yet, because I will continue to be backup. I will support them. We can send messages, supportive emails. This is what I'm going to do all 8 months. Hopefully it will help them. And then we will meet. We already have made a plan to meet after.
Good, excellent, excellent. Now they get into some of the kind of more personal questions the students like to ask. So they knew when you started, I don't know if you said it at the beginning of this interview, but when you were looking, you filled all the criteria for to be eligible for such a program. So one of the students asked, how many languages do you speak and which ones?
Yeah, sure. For my accent, you know. Definitely. So English, Russian, Ukrainian, I knew before. At least I could read German, but now it's slipping away slowly. Hopefully I will go back and study it again.
All right, great. Then somebody had asked, how is the food?
Oh, actually, good that they ask, because Russian food is great when we could eat it. So now we are on the sublimated food. So they're in the tubes. So this is example of Texas burger.
That's a Texas burger, you said, in that tube?
This is, I don't know if you could see the cow on it.
Oh, that's so funny.
And this is a Sicilian pizza.
That is so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, and this is freeze-dried. Let me see if I can. Doesn't see. Anyway, it's freeze-dried. It's packaging. It's freeze-dried like kefir. Oh, like buttermilk. Yeah, we also have like apples, dry apples.
Okay. Is it tolerable, or is it like eating sawdust?
Delicious. You can eat it like a candy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to say it's like eating sawdust, Frank. But it's good. All right, it's good.
It actually tastes pretty good.
All right. Good. All right. So the next one's kind of like a tough one. What's the hardest part of being away from home?
course, I miss family, I miss my friends and colleagues and students, but at the same time, I appreciate everything what I have at home more.
Well, that's a great answer. That's a great answer. And then somebody asked specifically, what do you miss about Long Island? From being
Ocean.
the ocean.
Just walking on the beach, long walks on the beach and seeing my seals, waving to them.
Now, a lot of people didn't realize that you're currently teaching this semester at St. Joe's. Obviously, if you went into the pod, that would have been prohibitive because of the delay, and they're going to mimic exactly someone in a space. But currently, you're teaching, and I was hoping you could explain for a minute, how are you able to still continue to teach during your training mission?
Great question. First of all, I planned everything very carefully during summer, so I didn't have summer, but it definitely paid off. And so timing-wise, it's perfect because after the busy day of me doing all the training, I had about half an hour on an hour set myself and then start lectures. Luckily, everybody knows how to use Zoom, we know why, and Canvas. And the students were amazing. They always ask questions. I was happy to share my day. It's Mars mission training. And the difficult part was after my lecture end by midnight, go to sleep like this because I need to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. So, just so we can make this clear, what was the time difference related to? So you finished your whole training day, then you started your teaching day. So back in New York, it was what time compared to Moscow time?
So it's 7 hours difference. So I start my lectures in New York. For students, it would be right at 1:40, and it would be 8:40 Moscow time.
Okay. So yeah, that is difficult then trying to go to sleep afterwards because you have a whole long day again tomorrow.
Because I was so excited. It's
Yes.
so exciting, and the students charge me and then immediately turn that off.
Yes, yes.
It's
All right.
on itself.
And it is good probably too to keep that connection too back to the students and demonstrate your excitement. You could see it right now, your excitement for the program.
Me, and you know what, my crew members were jealous.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because you get a little bit of an, no, but it is true. You get a little bit of an escape each day. They're immersed in it, but each day you get a little bit a chance to escape.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's wonderful. Now, this question was a question that a faculty member gave us. Based on this experience, what do you think are the most important qualities that a student interested in becoming an astronaut should have?
Definitely passion and love for space. And it should be genuine. You know, you need to chase, and you need to know history, you need to know everything what happened and why. And when we discuss, somebody say, like, for the NASA, whatever you do, you need to do not because you want to go to space, because you like it. Like, if you want to learn to fly, you need to take pilot lessons and do it even if you don't go to space, because you like it. And they look for that. Of course, patience. You need to have lots of patience. Not every astronaut goes to space. In NASA, yes. In Roscosmos, some of them never go to space. So you need to, and they wait for 10 years when they were accepted to the program. Yeah, so it's really challenging here. Of course, you have to be a team member, team player, and you physically and mentally sharp and strong, all other qualities. So any STEM related subject will help you do that. We have one astronaut who went through linguistic school, and then he had to take engineering degree after that.
The last question that I have from the students and the faculty was, what is one thing that you will always remember, take away from your experience in the program? You could select one. You might say there's many times.
No. I'm thinking, like, so when we will actually finally will make that first step on Mars, I know that as St. Joseph College and we can definitely say we contributed to it.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's a great point. Now you'll always have this, Tanya. You're one of the only women, two women in the whole United States of America to represent, us at this training mission. And, you know, when we finally get there, you could sit there and say, I played a part in that.
It's not only me. The support of St. Joseph was crucial. I wouldn't be able to do it without colleagues, without administration, without students, without their parents.
Yes. Yeah, because everyone's so understanding, the students, and they love to see you each night. I love, like, I have some of them in physiology, and they sit there and they say to me, oh, we saw Dr. Delaney, and she showed us the small room she lives in. It's like the size of a cell and all this sort of, and they got a kick out of it. They love it. And like you said, it's a relief for you, but they get very excited. You're exciting them about the field.
It was both ways. And again, I show that's possible at any age.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. So, so that concludes my questions. So I'm going to, I want to thank you. And the college is very proud of you. And as a colleague, I'm so proud. You know, every time you kept coming to me when I was the chair and saying, you won't believe this, but now NASA wants to interview me. Now they want to fly me to Johnson. I kept saying, well, oh my goodness, I felt like pride because, you know, I'm like, I know her. So it made me very proud to call you my friend. So I think St. Joseph's College is so lucky to have you. And now to come back, I know they're going to want you to share your experiences with the students and have seminars and things of that sort.
I actually thinking to prepare not only for students, but for colleagues and see where we can collaborate, because there is so many things that I didn't know. Even our department can collaborate. There is so many directions. I was shocked that I didn't know, and it's possible.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. So I'm going to sign off now. So, you know, we can say goodbye to our audience. All right, everyone, have a great day. Bye, Dr. Delaney.
Thank you. My pleasure.